Rowan, just a word on last week. It was such a remarkable performance. Was it even better when you watched it back?
Oh, I don't think there's anything quite watching a live game and experiencing the atmosphere and the reaction and seeing the big picture, but it was certainly good viewing on video. And, as I thought at the time, it was never that bad at 30-6, but we kept playing and stuck together, and, we got on a bit of a roll there and we were hard to stop.
What was the difference then at that point? What did you do? What was it that turned it around?
I don't think it was any one thing. I felt the game in the first half was very stop-start. In the second half, it flowed a bit more, and maybe that suited us.
It was such a remarkable, resilient performance. Has it demonstrated anything about that group of players that you didn't already know before then?
I think they've been through a lot this year. All the way through, there's been a lot of adversity to deal with, and to keep turning up and to keep fighting, on a weekly basis shows that there's a lot of character in the group, and that was just another opportunity to test that. At 30-6, it's easy to pack up your tent and worry about next week, but they stuck together and played well together, and we're fortunate enough to get the result at the end.
What about this week? What possible changes have you been pondering ahead of Salford on Sunday?
Good question. I can't even remember, what the team was last week. If we're talking about team there, Blake Austin's still not available, so we'll have a pretty settled spine there, and really just looking to build our identity and start fresh again, start from the beginning, and build it again and see what we can come up with against an informed team.
Is Fussatua fit to return?
Yeah, Fuss was fit last week, but having an away trip like that and poor access to get back, his wife is heavily pregnant, and it could have been any time, and there was a few minor situations there which might have said that baby was very soon. So we decided to leave him at home and not let him potentially miss that occasion. And obviously, if we were playing down the road, he would have played. But with the access being difficult to get home from Perpignan, we didn't take that risk.
Has she given birth yet?
No, she hasn't actually. So she's keeping things waiting, but
it won't be a small child, will it?
Happy and healthy, hopefully. That's all that matters.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. Just on Blake then, is his issue giving you more cause for concern?
It was a sort of 4 to 6 week injury once scanned and checked out there. So I think he's at 4 weeks now, maybe 5. So he's still within the time frame. He just wasn't quite ready this week.
What do you think you'll get from Salford then, given their result last week?
Well, they clearly executed very well last week against the best team in the competition. So they have a lot of belief in what they're doing. They've been building that for a long period of time. We saw them 10 games ago, and they played well that day and executed well. So they'll give us their best version. They're trying to fly under the radar, but they certainly aren't under our radar. They're a dangerous team that believe in what they do. So we're going to have to be very good.
Lafay had a wow of a game, didn't he, last week? Have you had any past history with him?
No, he nearly came to the Titans actually when I was coaching at the Titans, but I've tracked his career and I've coached against him a little bit. But I don't know the guy, but he's a quality player. He's in good form, very athletic. Lots of footy comes off the back of his carry, as well as his carry being a threat to the scoreboard as well.
I know you've always maintained you're not a big table watcher, but are you aware of just how close you are to the 6 at the moment? And given if results go your way this weekend, you could actually end up in the 6.
Oh, no, we're very close. I'm not sure what happened after last night and whatnot, but I'm not a table watcher at all. If it's there, occasionally I have seen it, but I don't go out of my way to check it. It makes no difference to me and how the prep goes. Every game is huge, and that'll be the case whether we're first or last in the future as well. It's about playing well this week is always going to be the priority.
Just in terms of Salford, what would you say their greatest strength is? Because I think Paul Rowley's believes they're the lowest spenders in Super League, but they've got a real collective desire, haven't they? You can see the unity amongst their side.
I think their biggest strength is the team and their belief in each other and the way they go about things. They're bringing out the best in the individual because they're very team orientated. They play a good style. They work hard. They scramble hard. They're really a great example of what a team is. I don't think anyone looks too much into who spends what. That's really irrelevant in a competition. It's about doing the best you can with what you have, and they're certainly doing that.
What about Brodie Croft, Rowan? Have you come across him a bit during your career? He seems to be enjoying himself alongside Mark Sneyd this season. Yeah,
he's playing really well. He looks like he's found a place where he's happy and he's getting the opportunity to play how he likes to play, and he's been a real threat on a weekly basis.
Just in terms of yourself, Rowan, since you came into the job, how much sort of research have you done in terms of your recruitment for next season and going to other games, watching footage and looking at other players? It seems you're looking far and wide into the Championship, NRL, other Super League clubs, even academy systems. How sort of rigorous has that process been for you?
Very, very rigorous. We're limited as to how much movement we can have, but that's good. I'm happy with our roster. It's a matter of tweaking and adjusting as things go. So to have an understanding of who's around and what value is placed on players, that's been a massive part of my role in the last couple of months, is to understand the market in this country and across the different competitions and try and establish value.
It's fair to say you've gone to a lot of games, haven't you? When you've not been working at Leeds, obviously you've gone to Super League, Championship.
Yeah, I go to a few games each week, other than our own, and that gives me a different perspective to what you can get on video. So I think it's really important to do that.
Yeah. Just a final one, please, Rowan. What sort of timescale are you looking at in terms of Zach Hardacre and knowing whether he'll be part of your squad for next season?
I've had preliminary chats with his agent, and we'll keep the ball rolling there. And there's no strict timescale there. It'll sort itself as things go.
And can I just ask you about Zane Tetevano? Obviously, he's come straight back into the 21 after his suspension. I think that was his third ban of the season. What will you say to him about his approach and that sort of thing going into this game? Obviously, he's somebody that the referees and the disciplinary are keeping an eye on.
Zane and I have spoken frequently since I've been here about his game and what's important and what his game needs to look like. And, that process began after his misdemeanor against St Helens. So we've been building up for this game rather than trying to cram at last minute. We've been chipping away, getting ready for this time.
Is he in decent shape? He's obviously been out for a while, 5 weeks.
Zane's a tremendous trainer. He's always been fit, dedicated. He'd easily be the most conscientious and diligent trainer that we have at this club. He preps for the session. He recovers from the sessions like very few others I've come across in my time. He's extremely professional in that regard. So he'll be ready to play well.
And it's obviously it's well timed with Matt Pryor being out for a couple of games.
It's a little bit of the way it's been, one in and one out. But it is what it is. It's a contact sport, and sometimes things go wrong.
How's Sam Walters? He's in the 21. Obviously, that you weren't sure how serious that injury was when he did it. It's clearly not as bad as it might have been.
No, it was a little bit of an awkward one that came good pretty quickly. We were a little bit cautious with it. He's not too far. I'm not sure if he's quite ready. We'll see how he's recovered after today's session. But he's there or thereabouts.
How far off is Tom Briscoe? Could we see him again this season?
Yeah, that'll be the plan. But he's still a couple of weeks away. He's not back in team training as yet.
He's out of contract at the end of the season, isn't he? Has any decision been made on Tom yet?
I'm not sure whether Tom's made any decision or not.
Has he been offered a new deal? Do you know?
He hasn't been offered a new deal at this stage, no.
Right, but is that again? That's something that could change, is it? Or
it's always a moving thing. There's a lot of balls in the air and there's a lot of movement behind the scenes across the league. So there's a knock-on effect at times.
Just wondering, looking back at the Catalans game, I know you prefer to look forward than look back, really, from what you've said already. But Richie Myler scoring 3 tries, Richie Myler always strikes me as quite an amazing player, because so often in this country, at least, he's been sort of underestimated, quite honestly. And yet, I think he shows great leadership skills on the field. And, when it's a backs to the wall situation, as it clearly was in Perpignan, he's the sort of kid who steps forward and, sets an example to everybody. I just wonder what you make of him, because I think this is the first year you've probably coached him. I don't think you've had him at any previous club. And, do you see him as I see him, as a really incredible member of the squad? Or, he's obviously a veteran now, but still got a lot to offer.
Richie did what he does so well and has done over, I think he's up, approaching 400 professional games. That his support play is tremendous. He puts himself in the picture. He loves playing the current play and getting himself on the front foot. He's always been good at that. I haven't seen all of those 400 games, but the ones I've seen, his support play is certainly an attribute. He's a good team player. He fits with the people that are selected that week, and he's happy to play a varying role depending on what's required. So, yeah, he's certainly a valuable member of the team.
Yeah, that's, hopefully he's got some time to go. I mean, there's a lot of talk about him playing for Ireland in the World Cup this year, and I think he'd be a tremendous asset for them, don't you? If that comes about.
I imagine he would be a great asset. I don't follow any of the World Cup possible selections and banter there. I've got enough to worry about, but I'm sure if he was selected or chose to play for Ireland, whichever it is, that he would be a valuable player for them.
And just a final thing on Salford, the game this Sunday. Looking at, I didn't see the whole of the Salford game against St Helens. It obviously wasn't broadcast, but nonetheless, when you see the highlights of the game and you see the way Salford played, I just wonder whether it's a sort of sign of a slight change in the way that the game is addressed. We've had St Helens for the last few years playing a sort of a grinding through the middle sort of a game, that's been incredibly successful for them, with very strong forwards, and then, good back play when they've developed forward dominance, or that's how I see it anyway. But Salford just took them on in a quite different way. They threw the ball about right from the start, created space on the wings and so on, and, really made it difficult for St Helens defensively. And I just wonder whether, more teams might be going down that route now as a sort of reaction to the way that St Helens have dominated over the last few years.
I can only really speak for how we're going about our game, and obviously in reference to this week, that Salford, I've studied them a lot, and I think Paul's teams over the years have always tried to fill the field and play some kind of expansive rugby and challenge the opposition by moving the ball. And, I think they've been doing that the majority of the year, or certainly since it was my first game when I got here was against Salford, and they played a good brand that day. They've only building confidence since that time. So they know who they are as a team, and they go about it in a confident and aggressive manner. They're a good defensive team, despite, some reference to the contrary, that they've really defended well in the last period, and that's partly because their attack is so good that it takes energy out of the opposition. So I think their attack and their defence complement each other, and they're a quality team.
Last time at home was that great game against Wigan when the crowd really, really got behind you. And I think I said to you afterwards, it sounded like it used to. How confident are you now of having the crowd back and providing that? I think you called it 14th man on the pitch at the time, now that you're going so well.
Well, there's every reason to come and check it out in person, isn't there? Recent performances have been strong, but more than anything, I think fans want to see a committed team that want to play together and play for the badge, and that's certainly how we've been going about things, regardless of result. At times, we've played together and played for a collective purpose, and I'm confident that fans will come and enjoy that again on Sunday.
And final question kind of flows off the back of that one, really. Leeds traditionally very dangerous at this time of year, whether you look at the table or not. How dangerous do you feel that your team is right now?
Well, we've got to start again on Sunday, and we've got to build it. I said to the players early in the piece that we want to be able to win different ways. And last week we came from behind to win. In other games we've got out in front and held on. Anywhere in between, we've got some belief in what we're doing, but we've got to start again. Last week doesn't count for anything, and we've got to come with the right intent and play together and ride the highs and lows of the day, and hopefully we've got more good plays than they do at the end of the day.